Alrighty guys, so we are seeing a bounce in the memory stocks just from the very zone that I have told you in my last couple of videos that just don't fear, we will be fine. And exactly from those zones, this is Micron. You can see we are bouncing really good from here. You can look at Sandisk also right from that zone that I gave you, bouncing really good and really strong. Let's take a look at in this video how things are looking like starting off this week on the memory stocks and the AI stocks. We do have earnings of AMD and Sandisk also this week, so you gotta be prepared to risk manage accordingly as per your risk tolerance. Now let's jump right into it. We'll also take a look at Nasdaq 100 and S&P 500 in this video. Now, with that, I want to let you know first, none of this is any financial advice, only for education purposes, just sharing my opinion. Please do your own thing. Micron. So Micron is already, as I mentioned to you guys in the last few videos, especially from this day onwards, that was Thursday, that we are approaching a bottom. Yes, along the ways we went up, came down, that is fine. Okay, bottom doesn't have to be V-shaped like that. Big cap stocks don't do that. They don't even come down like V-shape. They will do multiple tests up here, right? And then make a break. Similarly, when the bottom has to form, there has to be multiple tests and then we make our way back up. Now, what led me to talk about the bottom? And as I have told you in my last videos, it's the Kospi. All right, Korean market and memory stocks themselves, because Kospi is pretty much the memory stock, they were showing on the Korean side already good sign of bottom. Okay, now as I always say, nothing is guaranteed. We always have to do the risk management. All right, so but where's the higher probability? That's the direction we take, that's the trade we pick, and we risk manage the other side. And in this case, bottom formation is still my thesis. Okay with that thesis, okay? Otherwise, why would I tell you? Now the thing is that this thesis for sure can be invalidated, and it will, as if we lose 737 on Micron. Until then, we are just fine. Better was, well, not better was, better like this was the zone technically I mentioned. I gave you this 2 days ago in advance. And look at it. Market knows what I'm gonna tell. I'm kidding. When you have been in the market for years, you already know where the price would do what, okay? Because you know the psychology of the traders. You have worked with them, you have traded with them, you have traded with the people who are doing this day to day, okay? And the data access that I have, you may not have as retail traders, okay? So that also all makes huge difference. With that, make sure you hit the like and subscribe. All right. Now, so we are bouncing off of just from there, that very zone that I mentioned to you. So are we bullish now? Confirmed. Well, this is still the part of bottom formation. This is still the part of bottom formation. Let's not jump ahead of ourselves, but this is the confirmation, extra confirmation that bottom is forming here. Okay. Now, what really we want to continue to see? Well, this whole week actually, I'm not too worried if this week we don't make a run to the upside. That's not what my focus is. That's not what I'm even looking for this week. The whole week, I want to see this thing hold above this zone that I gave you, 780. This whole week, as we stay above it, that's all what I need. That's all what I care about this week. Nothing more than that. Okay, you gotta be patient in these transition phases. Okay, and as we stay above it, we will be fine. And eventually then next week may give us that run up already. Look, if you're gonna, that's the thing, right? Like when you see signs of bottom, but if you really wait for full extra confirmation, you do start to miss out the moves. You do start to miss out the moves, because then it is already going up. Start looking at it this way. Capture how much your risk is from where the price is, right? Let's say in this case, your risk is what, 7%? to the break. So is it worth it for you to wait next 7%, because you are already then losing on the 7%? So it's better that you just build a risk 7% down and add in your probability of capturing that 7%. So that's why sometimes I like to get ahead in the market with the smaller positions. Okay, and with that, that allows me to build into my position while also capturing the meat of the move, or the start of the move in this case, right? But it's still the bottom formation. We don't have yet a full confirmation that we are good to go, like strengthful upside. This week, I want to see it hold above the 780, 770 area. Just this week. That's all what I need, is just to hold, stay above it. Better if we stay closer to yellow zone or above that. All right, that's Micron. Looking good, guys. Bounce from the zone that I told you. Similarly, on Sandisk, the same thing. The same thing on Sandisk also. The zone that I gave you is a bounce zone, and we are doing just that. Now, if Micron would have been like down here somewhere, like how Sandisk is, then it was given on Micron as well that I was like, my position sizing on Sandisk may be higher than what it is on Micron, because Sandisk is already at that zone of my critical area. Micron, I would say it is down, but it is not that down. Okay, but anyways, the point being, it is bouncing Sandisk also from that 1130, the zone that I gave you. I just told you, don't fear until there. Definitely fear below that, but no, until there, don't fear, right? So, and you can see a really good bounce. Loving it. This is what I wanted to see. This is what I'm seeing, and I'm loving it. Again, it's not overall bullish. Confirming the it's this. These are the things we want to see in the bottom formation. We still want to get above the red zone now. But anyhow, just like on Micron, I would be happy with Sandisk this week, even if it doesn't go up, but just holds 1130 and stays above that. That's in strength price action. That's all what I care about. Even if so, Sandisk price action is, even if we lose it, we don't really have much downside left. But look, here's the thing: earnings will make or break, most likely, this thing on Wednesday. So just be prepared for that. SK Hynix. SK Hynix also bouncing off of that zone 137. Now this thing also part of a bottom formation. We do have to get above this red zone, technically 150. Now if you look at on SK Hynix on the Korean side, when I look at the price action over here, for me this is already the bottom. Okay, I told you already, yes, it can do pullbacks and retests, which is part of a bottom formation. So for me, yesterday's sell-off, a little bit of a red candle, not even a sell-off, is just a part of that very pullback there. Okay, let's take a look at Seagate. So Seagate a little bit came down today, but is holding at that zone, green zone. So Seagate, guys, look, I don't really expect Seagate to collapse. As I have told you previously, that's where I still stand. This is most likely either just gonna go sideways, or a little bit slow down, but just stay in the sideways realm if it doesn't shoot to the upside more. But you're still higher probability, higher push on Seagate. It's still to the upside, but it's just that don't expect much downside on this thing. It can come, sure, but you will always be trying to capture one day and the next day trying to get out, and you will be frustrated. Those weakness will be very slow. Okay, don't think shorting. I know, like, some shorts would like to show you that, oh, shorting is so cool, right? But and always make so much money in shorting. Not really. You know, you technically make more money while capturing the bullish sentiment, because there are a lot of factors in your favor being a bull. No one talks about it, but if you understand the how the money system works and all, you will be better off being a bull than a bear. But I'm not saying that you don't short. Like I told you, I shorted AMD, and I short, well, I was out already on this thing, made money, but I do short when there are opportunities. But when you And when you are in the early stages to make a lot of money, you need to capture even small opportunities because you want to increase your capital sooner. And when you grow out of that phase, you start picking your trade styles more what you really want to do. Okay, so anyways, the point is that I mostly look now for the bullish trades. Not saying that if something is bearish and I'm gonna still be bullish. No, like when Sandisk was bearish, I was bearish, but it just means that if I'm not shorting it, I'm really not buying it also, right? Then I wait for when the thing starts to turn around in the bullish side. Okay, so it's about what trade you want to really pick, right? That's the thing. So sometimes I short when there is an opportunity, and when the short is there but I really don't want to pick it, I don't pick it. You know, you get to pick what type of trade you are doing. All right, so yeah, Seagate is all good so far, not too worried here. Even if it comes down, I do think this downside is limited. NVIDIA, all right, pushing through, so good stuff on this thing, still holding 194. So that thing eventually then it led it up there. Now yes, until there up till 204 it was still just a multi-day bounce, but breaking out above that definitely brings it back in the overall strength. Pullbacks can happen along the ways, but that smaller position, if you took that, I don't trade Nvidia anymore. If you took that multi-day bounce, you can hold on to the position and add maybe more at this point, but stop loss below these accordingly, below 204 and below 193, base partial position sizing down. AMD has its earnings this week, and as told you, until earnings is going to mostly chop around here. So far that's what it's doing. Let the earnings happen, guys. Okay, technically below 500 we are bearish, and above 500, if it does that after earnings, this may technically after earnings it may make a run up again if it gaps up. And if it gaps down, then you are watching like 393 and so forth. But seeing like some gap downs already getting bought up in the market, I don't think that there will be much downside eventually on AMD. So just be prepared for that. So regardless how earnings may come, I don't see really sentiment breaking for until next quarter. All right, let's take a look at ARM here, and ARM is also just fine. Oh, well, not fine, sorry, it's well, technically it's fine as per in our direction already, which was bearish, and it's still bearish. Now, as if it can start stabilizing here, things may look different eventually, but this is still too far away to even look for any upside right now. Right now, if you really want to see upside again on this thing, you have to see it get above 267. Otherwise below that will still remain in this negative pressure. But just so you know, the short end is ending. Okay, it's getting close to the point where you should start sizing down. It's not that, okay, oh, sorry, it's not that is short is over, short is still there on this thing, but it's that your range is exhausted now on the short side. So just be prepared to size down as needed. Intel still bearish, still negative, $100 below. I have told you previously, still negative. So nothing really much to do here for you. AMD has a part into the CPU business as well. So Intel, if AMD says something that there is so much demand of something, but why didn't Intel say that just a week ago, right? So anyways, point being, Intel is still negative. Things will only possibly turn around above $100 if it can do it. We'll see if it does that, otherwise no. Marvel, as I have previously told you, most likely it will find a base and bottom here. 164 seems like it is doing that. So at least so far, showing early signs of bottom formation. It's not a high conviction trade for me, but if you are interested, your stop loss below 155 and above that you are fine. Cerebrus still holding 160. This has been, technically a pick in a way that if someone want to trade it, 166, 160 below stop loss, above that position can be held on to it. So, but it's really going to sideways right now. All right, guys, let's take a look at NASDAQ 100 and S&P 500, and we'll wrap up with that. So NASDAQ 100 is showing, it did its part of the range to the downside. It is showing a good bounce here, continuing its multi-day strength. Yes, it's just a multi-day strength still, but it's continuing strong in there. Almost about to take out. So as if it can, look, holding significant levels, guys. Get the tools, get the tools. Right, holding that zone today, and as it can hold above 686, it can continue in this little bit of stabilization and strength. We still have to get above this red zone 703. All right, so yeah, then it will be out of this negative trend, and break of the level is what is really important. The S&P 500 has remained quite strong along the ways, right? We are seeing a divergence between S&P 500 and Nasdaq 100 for sure. But this thing was back, or at least overall 739 above, and then this was the zone 745 above is where this thing technically is in the strength. So like overall, like fully, all the weakness, multi-day weakness is over, and so yeah, it is full on back in the strength. S&P 500 here, and that 744 becomes now an ongoing support, also the new support. So really strong. S&P 500 is really strong. Didn't really do much of a pullback there, but anyways, guys, that's all I had for you in this video. Bounces are happening, but patience is still needed, and risk management, which like always is also needed. All right, guys, with that, I'll see you in my next videos. Take care. Bye.